Is my 29F marriage salvageable with my husband 27M? Is it worth to try? Sorry in advance for the wall of text, but thank you for taking the time to read. My husband 27M and I 29F have been together for 5 years, married only for a few months. Our relationship developed really quickly in just a few months of knowing each other. He moved in, so most of our relationship has been living together. With that, our finances got intertwined where I took over all financial duties and he was the breadwinner. He doesn't really like having to deal with finances, so he was happy to let me take charge of our spending, budget, etc. We hit a really rough patch while we were in our engagement phase where he cheated on me with another girl. It happened shortly after he was in an accident that involved him getting hit by a car, but he was cleared by medical that there was no traumatic brain injury or any significant injury to him that could be seen. All of this was really hard to deal with. He didn't want to talk about it, was hyper-aggressive when he did talk to me, and insisted that he got to keep connections with the girl. I reached out to his family and friends to help me with this, and they talked to him and he finally said he wouldn't speak to the girl anymore, and that he would get therapy and marriage counseling. The marriage counseling went well. It seemed like he really was trying and was regretful of what he did. We only went for a few sessions before we decided we were okay. And then shortly after that, we got married, just as planned. It's only been a few months into the marriage, and not even a year from the infidelity incident, but I caught my husband having an emotional affair with yet another girl that he met only a couple months ago online. He argues that all he's doing is flirting with her and that it doesn't matter if he does that because it's not like he can fuck her even if he wanted to since she lives out of state, but I told him it bothers me and I want him to distance from her. Which he said he would do, which he kind of is doing. He's not texting her constantly as he once was, but he is messaging at least once a day and also is active in her Discord community. We've had a lot of arguments this past week that have really whittled me down. From him defending his flirting with this new girl, to him saying the difference between this one and the other cheating incident was that he did the other one to hurt me and this one is because he's bored, that he hates me, then he doesn't, then he does, then he doesn't, that he loves me less than what he used to, on a scale of 1-10. He says he loves me at a 6. That he'll never get over hating my family, and that he finds it amusing and entertaining when I'm miserable. He is going to therapy again, but he refuses marriage counseling. He says what's the point, they're just going to tell him he's wrong and he already knows that, so it's a waste of time and money. The latest talk we had, he said that why should he even bother trying to rectify his actions or become a better person if I'm always going to hold the cheating against him, and I told him that I didn't do that. I'm holding him accountable on this latest issue. I have asked him repeatedly if he wants to stay or go, and he'll give lukewarm answers in the form of shrugs, followed by yes, followed by I don't knows. It's driving me nuts. Part of me thinks he wants to leave, but he wants me to do it. But also, he doesn't want to leave because he's comfortable in the current lifestyle and doesn't want his family to find out that he cheated again. Me? I don't even know anymore. I feel so stupid about this, but I do still love and care for him deeply. But it hurts knowing that I love him way more than he loves me. I also don't appreciate that I feel like I want this relationship to change, for him to express his love to me with his actions, but he just wants things to go back to normal, because it's too overwhelming, stressful for him to do. He really only agreed to therapy not because he feels like he needs it, but because it's a condition I set for if he wants to keep this relationship. I don't know, is this kind of marriage salvageable? Or do I need to learn how to not love him, or what do I do? I'm thinking I should at least give him the rest of this month to see if he does change or make an effort, but he's still saying abusive things like, "Don't embarrass us," when I struggle weight lifting with him, or pulling my hair to tilt my head to kiss me, or shoving his tongue in my mouth even though he knows I hate that. I just need some advice. I don't really have friends I can talk to about this, and I can't talk to his family or my family. Thank you. Too long did not read. My husband has cheated on me twice and has, on both occasions, made it extremely hard for me to convince him to go to therapy, to stop these actions, etc. I love him so much, but I don't know if trying to fight for this marriage is worth it anymore. A relationship can only thrive if both people put in the effort. It sounds here that only one of you really values the relationship. He's cheated multiple times and refuses therapy. He doesn't value your relationship clearly. I'd suggest either splitting or separating so he can see what he's giving up, if you're intent on trying to stay together. When people go out of their way to make you miserable and defend it as, just the way I am, you should say, I am leaving your toxic ass. It's just the way I am. I have self-respect. Sorry. As soon as you said he cheated, was hyperaggressive, and refused to cut contact, there was no point in reading any more. No, this is not and should not be salvaged. He's despicable. You can't hold this marriage together on your own, and he's unwilling to do anything to work on it. You deserve someone who treats you well, but even being single is so much better than this. Just throw the whole man out. He is not worth the mental abuse you are suffering. Even if he stops this time, there will be more in the future. You deserve better. I, 26M, had a once-in-a-lifetime week of dating with 26F, and then blocked on everything. A little context. I just moved here from out of state. My new landlord, roommate of 2 months, mentions I have to meet his gorgeous coworker who is my age, claiming we were like the same person. He gets us in touch. Everything seems like standard run-of-the-mill setup. I had no expectations. I asked her to the local dog park to get to know each other. She brought her 5-year-old son. We talked for hours while her son and my dog played. I invited them to ice cream, which also went great. By this time her son was wanting to hold my hand and such, which I don't think either of us knew how to handle. Next day, 4th of July. I mentioned I'd be there again and they joined once again. Same thing, we talked for hours. After this I set up a nice date for 2 days after with her boss, my landlord, babysitting. We went to dog park, just the two of us, axe throwing, a brewery where we had the whole patio to ourselves with lights and a view. A brewer saw us and politely trimmed a rose bush they had and gave it to me to give to her. Had a great make-out sesh with her, initiating everything after the first kiss. She insisted on paying for this whole date. After this we were both obsessed. She was texting me the sweetest things and I replied by reaffirming her how much I appreciated her and how great she's treated me so far. At this point we had both sent one nude as kinda a tease. I planned another date to the local lake, beach 2 days later. Picnic and paddle boarding, as she mentioned she loves it and never uses it. Had her friend baby-sit for the day. It was incredible, we couldn't keep our hands off each other. Lots of long, silent eye contact and such. I've never been a romantic, so this was a literal first for me. After dropping her off she texted me saying how she loved it and had such an amazing time. I asked if she wanted to see more of me, as she mentioned it at the lake. Which she did, and so we each sent a short nude video, which it seemed we both enjoyed. The next morning she had plans to spend her day with her best friend who was watching her son yesterday. We had a few texts in the morning, but I was trying to not seem clingy and she seemed busy, so that was it. Around noon she sends this text. My name, I think you are amazing. But I just don't think I'm ready for a relationship. I'm not sure if it because I feel we rushed. Already sending each other things and wanting things. Just rushed. I wish you the best and it was great getting to know you. This was followed by an immediate blocking on all social media and phone. I texted back a very level-headed response in just 2 minutes with no reply. I was warned that she keeps walls up, but this caught me 100% by surprise. She's only been with 3 guys and hasn't been on a real date in over 2 years, so it's not that she's taking our little time shared lightly. She said lots of things over text, implying she would not be going anywhere and that she was the one I've been looking for, so I don't need to be worried or keep looking for my dream girl. The texts are what keeps messing with my head. When I read them back it just seems surreal and makes me feel like her friend convinced her to block me. I don't disagree with her that we rushed things, but it was a mistake that could be fixed by just taking a few steps back, right? Curious what the hive thinks here. I have other options romantically, but I have never been even close to this attracted to someone. I was and possibly still am determined to do whatever it took to keep her. Should I wait and try to let her come back to me? Should I leave another one of the flowers from the brewery we went to on her door? Should I start dating someone new while I still feel 100% interested in her? I have met with one girl since and basically told her I needed some time before even talking to her further. Tia. Too long did not read. I met the girl of my dreams, had an amazing week of dating. Then she hangs out with a friend and blocks me cause she wasn't ready for a relationship, after literally telling me all sorts of things implying that's exactly what she wanted. Help lol. She got spooked, man, shrugging one way or another, something threw her off. If I had to guess, her best friend may have reminded her about her proclivity to jump all in into relationships. Not that I know that, but if she's only been with 3 people maybe it's like this for each one. You said she has a kid? Maybe this isn't the first time and she's protecting herself from revisiting the hurt and disappointment from however the relationship with the father went. I know it's confusing and fucking sucks. I've been in similar situations when I was younger. But it's best to just move on. She brought her kid on a first date? I think things were probably moving too fast. This is for the best. If you still have feelings for her, I'd work through that before moving on to the next person, as it won't be fair to the next girl. Stay single, figure out what's best for you. If she reaches out in the meantime, great, talk it out and see how things go. But be prepared that she may run again. If she doesn't, when you're in the right headspace, put yourself back out there. Oh boy, I'm sorry this happened. I'm a girl. So if you really want to take a chance on this, just don't contact her now, don't do the rose thing or try to reach. People don't miss what is still there, and if she is on a super heavy mind now and you are present pushy, she will react wrongly. Don't stop your life for her, let things settle, both for moving on and keep on living your amazing life and someday meeting someone that is better for you, or to her to make up her mind on her own pace. You are amazing. Maybe give it a little time. Whether she comes back or not. Give yourself time to maybe see if she comes back, but also, if she doesn't, you shouldn't get into a relationship with someone else until you're ready for that. If you still feel 100% interested in her, all you're going to do for the next girl is make her wonder why she isn't good enough, and you sound like you don't want to be that kind of guy. Don't be stuck on her. Work on yourself. You'll find someone, when you're not looking. Whether that's her and she comes back, or it's someone completely different. My 25 female, fiancé, 33 male, wants me to get an abortion. Throwaway account. My fiancé and I have been together for almost 7 years, 14-month engaged, and known one another for 10 years. He is my older brother's, 34 male, friend, and I've always had an attraction to him. But to get to the point, my fiancé has denied me from getting any birth control because he believes it's unhealthy and unnatural. He wore condoms most of the time, so it was low risk for me to get pregnant. About 13 weeks ago I found out that I was pregnant, and I was excited to tell my fiancé the news. He was exhilarated at the news and told me that he's so happy that he's going to be a father, and jokingly said, "I hope it's a boy." About a week ago we found out that it was going to be a girl, and I saw zero emotion on his face, just a very forced smile. I asked him if he was happy that we're having a girl, and he said, yeah. He was moody all week, and yesterday he told me that he wants me to get an abortion. He said that we aren't ready to have kids and that either I terminate the pregnancy or I can leave, and he'll have zero shit to do with either of us. When I told him there was no way in hell that I was going to kill my baby, and this late, he started yelling at me and punched the refrigerator and just stomped out of the house while slamming the door behind him. What am I supposed to do? Because I don't want to leave him and I don't want to kill my baby that I already love. Update. I finally managed to contact my 2 older brothers, one of whom is my fiancé's best friend, and they both said they'll come get me right away. That I could try to argue and stay with him, they'll drag me out of there kicking and screaming if they have to. They also said, if that motherfucker is there when we arrive, he'll live the rest of his life as a disabled pig. They literally drove through the night, and they are business partners, so they lived close to each other. My fiancé left home early for work, so he wasn't there when they arrived about 7 hours later. My older brother told me that he warned me about him and I didn't listen. And maybe I should have listened, because last night when my fiancé came home he told me I have until this evening to decide what I'm going to do, or he's going to kick me out and make sure I'll suffer. I've decided I'm going to keep the baby, and it's not like she won't grow up without a father figure. My older brothers can be father figures unless or until I find a good man, right? They said that they'll take care of me and I can stay with one of them until I'm ready. And they said he's a sexist pig who will burn in hell for how he acted towards me, and there's no way in hell he'll get away with not paying child support. They'll be like the mob if they have to. Leave him, and when the baby's born file for child support. He can't have zero shit to do with a child he fathered. He has to at least pay, by law. Don't marry this monster. Did you talk with your brother about the situation with his friend? Hopefully, someone can help you to understand that you need to leave. Even if you didn't want the baby, which you do, you should still get out of that situation you're in. When people show you who they are, believe them. He is grotesque. Men punch walls because they can't punch the person they're mad at. If he's already stated that he'll have nothing to do with you, and he's already showing physical aggression, maybe it's time to run as far as you can. Don't trick yourself into thinking you can change him or that he'll change when the baby comes. If you're only staying because of your invested time, look into the sunk cost fallacy. He's not worth losing your baby or yourself. Run. He baby trapped you and showed you his true colors. Run. Notify both families of his behaviors and what he said. Get you and your unborn daughter to safety. My 19M girlfriend, 19F, wants me to make more money and get rich. I don't know what to do. TLDR. She said to me that I needed to make money and start a business because I deserve to be rich. She said that I must make more money so she could have the lifestyle she wanted. Past stuff. Now, I noticed when she was planning our wedding and honeymoon she was saying she wanted to go to this fancy expensive place. I just laughed along. I told her of my dream wedding venue I thought was cute and she agreed even though it was unrealistic. I thought we were planning our dream things. I should have realized being with her for 8 months she goes to all these fancy holidays. She's been on 3 since we got together and is going on another 2 this summer. All of them are abroad. She shows me loads of pictures of suites she stayed at and told me that when we have kids we must find a suite that would give each of our future kids a room or buy 2 suites or as many deluxe rooms as we needed. She also sends me jewelry and handbags she wants me to get and then sends me shopping haul videos of all the designer things she's brought. Again, so back to conversation about she went over her lifestyle and then said I should start a business to get rich and that her parents wouldn't approve of me. I was feeling awful and trying not to cry because I just want to be enough for her and I want to give her the lifestyle she deserves. I then got angry at myself mostly because I couldn't be the man she wants, so I told her to find a rich man her parents would approve of. She then told me she loved me but I said she didn't. She got upset and left. I feel like this has been a recurring theme in the relationship because she calls me names like, filthy, disgusting poor boy, makes fun of my mum and calls her a slut for being a single mother and made fun of the fact I have no full siblings, only half ones. She also can't be taken out because when she came to my friend's party she got angry because they didn't have filtered water and they told her to get stuff from the tap. She refused to drink. She also turned her nose up at the food and called my friends disgusting to me later. She also hates ugly people because she is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen and I'm still surprised she ever liked me. But she makes fun of people for weight etc. She is a lovely person deep down and we have a good connection, but it's just the fact I can't provide for her. I'm scared she will leave. She also messaged late last night saying she could give me £10,000 to start a business to get rich. I was shocked but she was serious. I have no idea what to do. She's a lovely person deep down? No, the fuck she is not. She's a vile human being and she's got you wrapped around her finger. I think you need to actually read what you wrote and tell me again if you think she's a lovely person. Leave her. She's being absolutely awful, and you deserve better. She won't change, and those insults are unforgivable. Why does she deserve that lifestyle she talks about? What does she bring to relationship? This toxic behavior is uncalled for. Do the right thing and leave. My man, please love yourself because she clearly doesn't. This is abuse.